Hello everyone, today we're falling with style. This is Hank the Tank, which I made in collaboration with Efficient Demand. Hank is one of my favorite vehicles in Tears of the Kingdom, and I figured out how to attach a wing in order to make Hank fly. When I first began testing Hank with a wing, I noticed that in midair, Hank would want to turn left, and to compensate I would have to push right on the control stick, but things would become unstable after a little bit like you see in this clip. I repositioned the wing for balance, and found that when I let go of the control stick, the wing made it stable. It wouldn't tip over. So you can point it in the direction you want to go, recharge your battery, and then grab the control stick when you're near the ground. The wing is so stable that even during a spiral nosedive, it will level Hank out. Now that we know this, we can steer Hank briefly into the direction we want it to go, and then let go, and sit tight until we get to our destination. Your battery will be recharged, and you can just grab the control stick right before landing. You can change the angle of approach last minute for a smoother landing. And with that, I'm gonna do a couple jumps. I mean, that was easy peasy. This one will be a little tougher. Oh, okay. Here's a big one. Beautiful. Oh, that landing. And then I figured it out. What you see in this clip is the first time I figured out how to steer Hank while gliding. In order to glide, I was only putting small inputs to the right and a little bit to the left. And I'm trusting the wing to keep it stable front and back. Previously, it was becoming unstable because I was trying to control the pitch, when in fact I should trust the wing to stabilize. And when we do this, you can see we can fly a really far distance. So let's go for Eventide. You can see some of those wing oscillations as we go, like you see on the wing when it's unpowered. Oh yeah, we're making it. First try. Let's turn a little bit, get a nice landing. Heck yeah. Okay, let's do some other cool ones. Oh, construction site easy. Wow. Alright, how far can we make it off the top of Death Mountain? Alright, pretty far. We're almost to the edge of the region. Oh, and we just got to the wing despawn timer. Alright, let's go off of the Great Sky Island and see how far we can get before the wing despawns. And once it despawns, we're gonna ride it out, see if Hank survives the fall. Alright, here we go. Pretty close to Lookout Landing. Let's try jumping off the Wind Temple. I'm gonna try to aim for Rito Village, so I'm gonna be pointing down a little bit as I go, but still mostly putting those small right inputs. Looks like we'll almost make it, but not quite. We got to the lake? Alright, I know what you're thinking. Cheese Puff, okay, it can fly, but can it even drive? And here I'm going to show you that it can in fact drive, and it drives pretty well. Wings are quite heavy, and you can see here that the wing's weight is going to be focused towards the middle of the vehicle. Ideally, you want the weight focused towards the front of the vehicle, because in Tears of the Kingdom, vehicles are better at pushing weight up a hill than pulling it up a hill, so you want to put weight as far forward as you can. For balance reasons, I have to put the wing in the middle, so I'm interested to see how well this does climbing. Hank can go downhill pretty fast. The wing has a speed limit, and it's just under the trail of a star fragment, so there's no point in putting a star fragment on a build with a wing. We can get going pretty fast going downhill. The wing is angled at about 20 or 25 degrees, and that's because if the wing was flat, you start to take off even on flat ground. It just wants to pick Hank up. And it will especially do this on a downward incline. So the wing is angled down to allow us to travel even on downward slopes. And now that we're at the bottom, I'm going to push forward on the control stick to try and build speed for this hill. And once we hit the hill, it's going to slow us down because of the wing's weight, but we'll start doing a serpent motion and we'll be able to make our way up the hill relatively fast. Now that we're at the top of the hill, let's enjoy our effort and soar down to the valley again. Beautiful. Really shows you how much faster it is to travel by air. We'll angle up a little bit at the end and have a smooth landing. Now we'll wind our way up this hill too. I wanted to look more into the climbing, so I attempted my way up this hill, and I made it up pretty far actually by just going across the hill, but it's not enough to be able to get all the way up, which I wouldn't expect because the wing's quite heavy, so I was impressed with this performance. If you push forward while going downhill, you start to lift off the ground. The width of the wing is also good for bump damage on enemies, although it doesn't really work on the large enemies. And of course the wheels are great at breaking ore. Since the wing is up on top of the build, it doesn't cause any issues with crossing bridges or hitting objects. You'll hit trees potentially, but nothing near the ground. So we're able to go across bridges pretty easily. And of course, being a fast vehicle, we can take advantage of the recall bump damage and one-shot high health enemies. That black moblin is off of the bridge. See how many we can hit. There's the silver bokoblin. That's the silver moblin, blue bokoblin. So we took out almost that whole camp without even a weapon. But with the swing, it's honestly just fun to go up to the top of a hill and soar in any direction. And you can make a really far distance with it. Let's go down the two different routes up here on the shield surfing slopes. Here's an example of the wing kind of taking off on its own. But if you don't hold forward on the control stick, you can go pretty fast speed down lots of slopes. Let's try the steeper slope. I'm interested to see whether we stay with the wheels on the ground or not. Nice. That's cool. Time for some air. That's cool that we were able to climb up to this part. It's wild how far we can go. Let's talk about how to attach the wing at 20 to 25 degrees. We'll start at this step in the build tutorial for Hank, where you attach the U-block to the chassis while the steering stick is already nudged down on the U-block. Attach a stake to both the U-block and the steering stick. My steering stick has a slight forward angle. That's because that's what I like on ground vehicles for steep climbing, but in this case we're not going to be doing any steep climbing, so it's probably better if the steering stick is level. Grab a wing, attach it at 45 degrees near the back, and then use a hover stone with 4 homing carts for weight, and weigh down the wing. Then attach something like a fruit, rebuild it, and repeat. Alternatively, you could do this whole thing upside down with the wing starting at level. That'll be a few less nudges to go from 0 to 20 degrees versus 45 to 20 degrees, but I felt like this was an intuitive way to visualize the wing getting pressed down. So we'll just repeat this process. Getting close now. I'm gonna check the shadow on the wall, use a protractor to look at the angle. Looks like I need a couple more. Now that we're there, we'll attach the U-block to the Goron plate. And the biggest thing here is to make sure that the wing and middle wheel aren't rubbing against each other. And here we're good. The wing is a little too far back. You can see that the front wheels are up a little higher than the rear wheels. So it's not quite optimized. We should probably put the wing a little further forward. But we can get out to Wrist Peninsula, so pretty good for the first attempt. So I lost Hank while I was flying around, and I was trying to chase after him. And then he did the craziest thing. He just does a backflip. That's sick. Do it again. No way. No way. Heck yeah, Hank. Let's go. Ah, just fell. Now's my time. Close. Here we go, here we go. Yeah. No. Ow. It is safe inside the U-block, though. So here's many failed attempts at doing a trick shot down a chasm, where Link just stays safe inside the U-block, even though Hank's going everywhere, bouncing off the walls, flipping around, and stays fine. I think in a couple dozen attempts, the wing only broke off of Hank maybe twice. Otherwise, Hank just kind of fell slowly to the ground because the wing has that speed limit. You can even fall backwards and be fine. Bounce off of things. Oftentimes, Hank will just start soaring. Yeah, like that. Here I'm going to actively try to sabotage it by turning right and spiraling down. See if we can just nosedive the ground. Yep, looking good. And we're fine. Let's look at these trick shots though. I want to utilize the fact that Hank wants to turn left mid-flight to slowly descend vertically with a wing. So what we're going to do is we're going to point forward and left on the control stick so that Hank tries to point down and just keep spinning to the left. Hank already wants to spin to the left, so we're just encouraging more. And as we can see, we can just slowly descend vertically to the ground. That's great. Alternatively, we can do a cool shot where we hold forward and push to the right, where we get it to do an unstable spiral nosedive. And that way we can do an even quicker descend vertically. And Hank will level out in the depths. Alright, now that we're on the ground, let's utilize it and see what exploring in the depths is like. It's got great handling. I think the wing helps the handling a little bit. And anytime we hit some cliffs or anything, we'll just soar right over the gaps. Kind of like that. Alright, here's the second light route. Sometimes when you hit unexpected inclines, Hank will take off. Alright, let's go for that light route, and we'll call it a day. As you can see, the wing has lasted a really long time, and that's because while Hank is on the ground, the timer doesn't count down. Thanks for watching.